quarterback production-wise in front for the Giants in front of the Dallas quarterback production. Not because I don't think I'm not arguing who's better. We're talking about stats. It's fantasy football.
Yep.
I think production-wise, Romo may have a similar season to what he did last year. But I'm looking at this receiving core that the Giants have, which I can just basically transition into my. Are we going quarterback, running back, receivers, or are we going quarterback? Receivers?
You can go wherever you want to go. You want to switch it to wideouts, we can do it.
We're gonna go from quarterback to receivers because I'm just gonna say that Eli's gonna have one of the best seasons that he's ever had this year. And then I'm gonna just transition into the receiving core. You got Ruben Randall, who a lot of people don't know. Ruben Randall, he almost had 1,000-yard receiver last year.
Yes, sir.
In a New York down year. Odell Beckham Jr. started, 12 games? 11 games maybe?
I'm looking it up right now.
He had 1,300 receiving yards.
Hold on, can I stop you right there before we go any further with him? Because you play fantasy just as well as I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Ruben Randall. ODB was single-handedly destroying fucking teams down the stretch. He was averaging 30 points a game.
Only him and Antonio Brown?
I mean, Antonio Brown kind of... what he was doing was like 10 catches, 3 touchdowns. I mean, what he did at the end of that season, man, that shit was just uncalled for. Like, you don't see that normally. It's scary. I mean, a lot of people...
It was unbelievable.
A lot of people going to take him early. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people going to take ODB early, and I think they may get burnt off of that. ODB missed the first 4 weeks. He finished the season with 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. Ruben Randall...
And that was 11 games started, 12 games started, something like that?
Yeah, like you said, Ruben Randall quietly had 938 with 3 touchdowns. And let's not forget Larry Darnell had a decent season too.
Yeah, he did. He had a few touchdowns, which actually saved my league at my work league. But with that being said, this may be, I believe it was 2008. Like I said, it was 2008. The last time we seen a receiving trio that had 300 yards receiving each. It was Larry Fitzgerald, Anquan Bolden, and Steve Bresnan. It was 2008.
3,000. You talking about three 1,000-yard receivers?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the last time we seen it.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. It's going to happen this year. You can mark that down. God forgive and bearing any injuries, it's going to happen because Victor Cruz has been a nightmare for the Dallas Cowboys, the NFC East period, the NFL period. I'm talking about. The G-Men is something that I don't even want to acknowledge. But I would occasionally turn to ESPN just so I can see how many times Victor Cruz salsa dance in the end zone on somebody. Like, I feel like he should change his song up to I Like the Cha-Cha every time he scores in New York. The song is so catchy. And he got the dance all over the place. Like, with that being said, that is for the quarterbacks, I got Eli first, Tony, I got the Redskins third, the Eagles fourth. And then I'm going to just jump right into the receivers, which is going to be the same thing. For me, it's going to be the same thing. It's kind of close. If you look at Dallas...
Hold on, before you do that, to answer the question, who would you take between your top two at quarterback?
As far as fantasy?
Straight fantasy. That's all we do on this place.
Man. I hope my mama not listening. This year, give me Eli.
Well,
That hurt me.
but that's the thing. Like with me last year, you know, I play my stuff heavy. I play in a bunch of money leagues, and you remember you text me like, how your draft go? I said I got a stacked team, but you're not gonna believe who I took at quarterback. You like who? I'm like, I took Romo. But what people fail to realize, last year going to the draft, outside of the top 3, I had Romo as my first pick, second tier quarterback after Breeze, A-Rod, and Manning left the board, because no one seen Luck doing what he did last year, like flat out. Luck was not to be done what he did. Like Luck now should be the number 1 quarterback taken, if not A-Rod. But I looked at Romo because the situation, I felt like he can still get me solid numbers off of his past production, because he wasn't a bum the year before. That's enough points to get me where I need to go week by week if I'm strong everywhere else. And I believe this year, I know sometimes people go back to the well a couple times, I believe this year that if I go stacked heavy somewhere else again, that I can pick up a Tony Romo, or especially Eli, because Eli is notoriously atrocious in fantasy as a starter. He is a do not touch usually. But if you can go the first 5 rounds of your draft and get stacked, where you can solidify your tight end, your 2 running backs, 2 solid wide receivers, and you can pick up an Eli Manning in the 6, and you're comfortable with that, I think you'll be stacked in enough places that even if Eli goes out and he can match his numbers from last year. 4,000 yards, 34 TDs, 14 interceptions. I think you still can come out on top. And that's smart fantasy football.
That is.
So we switch over to the receivers. We talking the receiving cores right now. And you were reading off you were saying something about Saucer. I mean, I'm one of the ones who like the Giants. I didn't believe in him before we get into it. I was going to read these stats off to everybody. Victor Cruz, from when he started playing, his first full-time season starting was 2011. 1,500 yards, 9 TDs. He followed the next year up 1,000 yards, 10 TDs. Then he had 998 and 4 TDs. He played 6 games last year, 337 and 1 TD. You had to figure out at some point in time last year he was going to figure it out. The boy is pretty official. He's pretty official. So I know Roddy White tell him come play on the outside with the big boys, but if you can't catch him, you can't catch him. All right, let's talk these wide receivers. Is it really wide receivers to talk about, or are we about to talk about the Giants and the Cowboys again? Because
the thing is, okay, the Redskins.
They got Santana Moss, bro. Santana Moss been playing since you was suiting up.
You had to throw me under the bus on my age.
Santana Moss was traded for. Look, hold on, real quick. Santana Moss was traded for Lavernius Coles.
You throwing out some good names out there, some good old school names.
Deion Sanders was still on the Redskins when Santana Moss got there.
Come on. You can't.
We seen Larry Johnson and Sean Alexander be in the same backfield on the Redskins with Santana Moss. Chris Cooley didn't retire and trying to come back, and Santana Moss is still there.
That right there is. I saw that on the news, and I just I don't know what Chris Cooley's thinking about. Chris Cooley, he used to be my guy, but no. Oh my Lord, Pierre Garçon.
Yeah.
Your man DJ.
DJ.
Andre Roberts. Did he still got Andre Roberts? Grayson still got Andre Roberts, right?
Yep.
I believe. Okay, Andre Roberts he's not a big name. He's not gonna wow you, but he can ball. The thing about it is, of course, I'm going to take Dallas receiving core over them for the simple fact that Dez is going to ball. Terrence Williams, I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know where Terrence Williams' head is. Like, if you watch the season last year, if you watch 2013 season, you had Terrence Williams with these breakout catches, with these explosive plays. He may have over 1,000 yards in 2013. In 2014, he was kind of a disappointment. He really didn't get too much involved in the offense. You had Dwayne Harris. I think Dwayne Harris is gone. Well, actually, Dwayne Harris is on the Giants now.
Yeah,
that might boost up the receiving core now. He's mostly going to play kick return, but that's going to boost up the receiving core a little bit. You got Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley had a breakout year. Will he be that effective this year? Who knows? Jason Witten, he's getting up there in age. So I'm saying all this to say that even though you have this talented roster, the only exception is Dez Bryant, really.
Oh, I'm gonna say
when it's compared to the Redskins and it's compared to the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's the separate. Because looking right here at the Redskins, Deshaun Jack, D. Jack is the only one wide receiver that was really productive. He had 1,100 yards. The next closest receiver had.
No, Pierre Garçon didn't have a bad year last year, did he?
No, I'm looking. Pierre Garçon was the next closest receiver. He had 477 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Really?
Yep. The next the way it goes, and for Washington Redskins, D-Jax had 1,000 yards. He had 1169. Second place will be Niles Paul, which I wouldn't even knew this because the tight end is a 1-2-3 spot. Then the rest is you just rotate them. But Niles Paul had 507 receiving yards, but only 1 TD, so he holds you no fantasy value whatsoever. And then Pierre Garçon will be next with 477 yards. And there was a guy named Andre Roberts who actually got 453 for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, those rosters are like, I want to see what they have, because obviously those numbers are tainted by the effects of who's going to play quarterback this week. You got Colt McCoy playing quarterback. You got RG3. You got Kirk Cousins. I think they might even throw Deshaun Jackson in their quarterback for a couple plays. You don't know what's going to happen with that quarterback situation. You got what's this RG3's fourth offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
Since he's been in the league, like, you just don't know what's going to happen with that offense. That right there is enough. And I hate to say it, but it's enough for me to have Dallas over them, even though Dallas is more talented as well. I just didn't like the fact that Terrence Williams disappeared for half of the season. He just had a major ghost moment. He just wasn't around for the season.
Well, is that because of the resurgent image of Colt Beasley, who just out of nowhere became a magnet? Like you said, Terrence Williams. I'm looking at the numbers. He had 600. Let me make sure. Terrence had why did it stop right there? Terrence had 621 yards. Right, I was reading it right. But then Cole Beasley, who just all of a sudden, after week 9, he just turned it on. And next thing you know, Cole Beasley finished the season with 420 and 4 TDs. Then Cole Beasley started stealing some of his targets because of, could have been lack of interest, laziness. Because Terrence Williams, as you said, and you know your stuff, he started off hot. Week 1, he scored. Dez didn't even score week 1. He had 50 yards for 1 touchdown. Week 4, he had 77 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cole Beasley, he had 1 catch week 1, 1 catch week 2. He didn't. Cole Beasley didn't get his first touchdown until week 12. Then he just, was solid from that point on. His yardage went up. So maybe it was something about